Alright. Hello everybody, it's me, Varia the Fruiting Ghost. Thank you for coming to my stream today. Let me just get to my chatting screen. So, hello everybody, thanks for coming here today. I am going to continue that piece from last Friday, so if you're interested in that, I hope you enjoy seeing it. I continued to work a bit, so... Okay, find out how this goes. Sorry, thought this was centered, but I guess not. Kind of zoomed out a bit, but yeah, so I will be continuing this art piece today, so... You know, I think the values here might be a bit off, but I'll just worry about it as I get to work, you know. I don't think I'm gonna work with these, like, super hard shadows today, so... Yeah, anyways. Of course, I want to get back to the palette a bit and just kind of maybe worry about some of the shadows, or just kind of creating some more tones. Okay, so just warm this up a bit. Yeah, this is going to be the skin tone for the more human guy right here, you know. Just trying to settle in, get things worked out. But yeah, so I'm just gonna mark a folder, just data as colors, and then I'll start blocking things in properly. So usually like to start with the skin layer, and then get on with other stuff. Of course, my intention is to start working on this skin layer in particular. So, of course, I want to get back to the palette. Sorry, I keep kind of jumping in between things right now. Just gonna get my bearings together. You know, I actually went out this morning, so don't normally go out this early in the day, but I just wanted to get some art done. Well, not art done, sorry. I just needed some more garden supplies. I might have killed so yours truly might have tried to. I killed my cucumbers today, yesterday. I don't know, I don't think I ever killed a plant quite that quickly. So I'm a little sad about that. But, you know, I wasn't aware of this thing called transplant shock. But yeah, that's how they went down, is transplant shock. So I went and bought some more starters this morning, so I could hopefully plant them again. But I also got some garlic chives, so I might use that as a ornamental plant, but I'm not sure. Just partly as pest control, partly as an ornament, because I couldn't really get any garlic in this year. You have to start that kind of thing early. But yeah, also I just don't have any garlic or alliums, I think I should say. I don't have any of those in my brassica patch, so I figured it'd be a good idea to get that in there. Or get something like that in there. But yeah, that's kind of what I've chose to do today. I also tried Wendy's breakfast for the first time. Thought it was pretty good, but I thought the hash browns might be a little too... I think the hash browns are a little too close to potato wedges to really be considered hash browns. You know, potato wedges are kind of like these chunky French fries. Basically, I consider them closer to the French fries than hash browns, so... That's one part I'm not as enthusiastic about. But yeah, I know that my coworker kind of talked about it the other day, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Yeah, I was supposed to be making my own breakfast, but I just haven't really had the energy or motivation lately. And of course today, as I said, I went out so I can get more gardening stuff. So yeah, just didn't really have that time for it. Well, also I got more tomato cages for my peppers and tomatoes. You know, most of those I planted yesterday. Thankfully, those ones are still alive, but yeah. And I also got a couple of trellises for my cucumbers. That was a little bit spontaneous, but you know, I know that I would need those again next year, so I figured that I may as well. You know, because I'm kind of interested in growing beans as well. Not this year, but next year. You know, I would need those to bring back the nitrogen in my ground too, so yeah. So I know that the trellises will be kind of useful eventually. Or now, I should say. Because right now I'm just using them for the cucumbers. Alright, so let's use this darker color. Yeah, this one. And I'll jump between these two as I go between this dappled area. Oh, hello, Super. It's nice to see you here. I am working on the same piece as I did last Friday. As you can see here, right now it's upside down, but I'm just kind of putting the colors in today, so a nice Tuesday stream. Yeah. It's got some nice weather out there. Hopefully I can just be kind of chill today. You know, I tried getting more of my garden stuff done yesterday, but oh, how was Memorial Day? It was pretty nice. For the, you know, in the morning I kind of just took it easy because I needed to just rest properly, and then after that I started doing I started planting a bunch of stuff. I got finally planted my zinnia seeds and got my peppers and tomatoes in the ground along with the herbs that I'm putting near them. And then I also put some cucumbers in the ground, but I think I killed most of them because I wasn't aware of transplant shock and I was being pretty rough when I was putting them in. So yeah, I was just talking about how I came in early in the morning, or I went to the garden center in the morning today so I could get more cucumbers. So hopefully the second time I won't kill them all. Oops. Sorry, I just realized I put this color in the wrong area. Ah, dang it. Yeah, this is a bit of a darker shade, so like a shadow color. So it should have been deeper in. But yeah, I'm trying to mess with dappled light here because, you know, this character is supposed to be in a swamp, so there should be like a lot of trees above him. But I kind of struggle with dappled light, so maybe I figured if I try pre-planning the light rather than just putting it down afterwards, maybe things will look better. But yeah, so hopefully the second batch of cucumbers will do better. I also got some trellises for them because I had to also stop and get some. You know, I went between two stores that were basically right next to each other. The garden center's right next to a hardware store, so you know, I went there and just got the trellises and all that. Cages, trellises, and some stakes for the outside of my garden. Because yesterday I kind of realized that I can actually, you know, just spray everything from the outside of the garden. I don't actually need to go in there, because a problem with the hose is that if you're not watching carefully, it can like trample all your plants. So I have to be careful with that. But yes, sorry to yap so much about myself. How was your day? Or how's your weekend, I guess? You know, outside of Memorial Day, my weekend was kind of exhausting, as you might expect, just with the holiday. I'm doing good. That's good to hear. Hopefully you got to take things easy. But yeah, outside of the cucumber drama, Things are mostly going okay, I think. I haven't planted the other cucumbers in yet, but I figured I'd do that after stream. You know, I was also supposed to work on my unfinished artworks yesterday too, but I couldn't get around to that, unfortunately. So, yeah, I didn't realize we were going somewhere, but we went over to a relative's place to basically have a little bit of a cookout. So it was nice, but, you know, it went on a lot later than I thought, so I couldn't really finish all the things that I wanted to do. So I'm gonna have to try and do it today, you know, hopefully, but, you know, I need to get the art trade done. That's the main priority. And then then vow, and then I'll maybe work on this more off stream too. But yeah, must have been busy your work because holiday. Yeah, it gets like that during the right before holidays. It wasn't anywhere near as bad as the Easter, but you know, it still got kind of challenging. I think a big part of it is the people doing bottle drives, though, because, you know, there was the guy that came in with like a ton of pop cans, and I think that's what, and basically kind of probably filled up a bunch of the machines. But yeah, so like the middle part of the day got kind of chaotic. Thankfully, returns weren't too bad, but yeah, it was just kind of stressful for that, especially in the middle part of the day. Ended up waking up an hour late too, so there's that. You know, I just have been really struggling a lot with waking up on time, so I'm probably gonna have to change the alarms, like the sound of the alarms, so hopefully that wakes me up more, but I'm not sure what to do about that yet. I don't know, I don't know if it's because of the exhaustion or if I'm just getting too used to the alarms. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I really got in trouble because I don't think they even noticed that I came in late, because if it came in a few hours late, that'd be another story, but that first hour tends to be pretty dead. What kind of alarm do I have? What sound? It's just one of the alarms that they have for the set of my cell phone. Yeah, I've been having trouble with those, I know, but I'm not sure if I actually put all of them on is the thing, because I can't really remember that well. You know, I went to bed pretty early on Saturday night. I think that's the only reason why it was only an hour late rather than like multiple hours late. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to change out to something else. Beep beep or boop boop. Neither. It's just kind of, I'm not sure what it is actually, but one of the Samsung alarms. Like one of the more music-y ones, I think. Okay. Just getting out of this. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna try. I need to try and focus on my 2D stuff before I really get back into 3D. I mean, I'm kind of glad to take a little bit of a break, but at the same time, I recently joined a Blender practice group. So, well, that part's kind of exciting. I feel kind of bad that I can't like add much in yet because I'm still because I have to focus on my 2D stuff. But yeah, I'm also taking a trip next week. I won't say where I'm going, but you know, just a little mini vacation. So there won't be any streams on next Tuesday, by the way. Hey, great choice, Samsung. I like it. This is why you passed the vibe check, huh? I see. Yeah, I'd rather not get anything like Apple, because I hear a lot of bad things about Apple. I guess I'm not like a super fan of any phone company, just kind of, just as long as it's not Apple. Okay. I'm trying to put in a darker color. It doesn't look like it's working though. Yeah. Probably just blending in, but how about I get it here. Actually, let's darken it a little bit. Okay, make it a little warmer. It's probably going to get... I mean, the skin tone here is probably going to get a bit covered up by a layer that I'm going to put over it, just like a... because this character is supposed to be partially underwater. Because he's technically just a memory, but... yeah. Just get these, and these, like, the parts that I haven't filled in yet, these are actually supposed to be lighter, like this area. I'm trying to, I'm trying to put in the scattered light. Or the dappled light, I should say. Oh, fun, big vacation. Will it be warm? Hopefully it'll be okay. Oh, sorry. It's just a little one, so probably like a couple of days. Just kind of going up a place that's a little more... yeah, it's not like a big travel trip or anything, but just kind of hopefully relax, kind of be around some nature and all that. Yeah, I don't want to get too specific just because basic internet safety and all that. Maybe after the fact I can say where I went, but, beforehand I don't want to do that. Like, not that I don't think you personally would come after me, but, just kind of better safe than sorry. It's probably some other people who might watch the stream / VOD, so yeah. Gonna have to remember to have some subsurface scattering between these dappled areas, but... yeah, the place I'm going is actually a little bit further north, so it might actually be a little bit on the cooler side, but... well, it seems like temperatures are supposed to be kind of pretty moderate, so... like moderately warm, kind of early summer, late spring temps. So there's that. Nah, way too big ocean between the Netherlands and America, and my swimming isn't good either. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I can't imagine you fly like a bird either, so... yeah, it's just... yeah, just trying to be careful in general. As I said, you don't know who's gonna watch your streams, so... but yeah, I haven't been to that place for probably a decade plus, so that's kind of... so it'd be nice to head back there. Supposed to be kind of a popular spot within this... sorry, it's too much information. But it's really basic knowledge not to tell others when and where you go to vacation because of home thieves. Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm keeping my personal info and face hidden, of course, but yeah. Yeah, I heard about stuff like that. I mean, there's probably still some people staying home. Like, not everyone in the house is going to the same place, but I will be going with my grandmother, so... just get the... hopefully chill, see, look at some nice flowers. Maybe. Okay, might even be a sauna. I'm not sure if the hotel has a sauna in it, but sauna would be nice. Of course, I'm more of a hot tub person, but all right. I think this first part here is actually the neck here. All right, first part here is the cast shadow, and these other sections are actually a necklace. Oh, sorry. Ah, the air strikes again. Well, I post some photos of the vacation when the vacation is over, only the nature if you see any. Maybe, if I remember to take photos. There might be some kind of cool... Actually, I remember there being some pretty cool, geological... Yeah, geological structures there, so... I was trying to not say geographic, but it's geological. But yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, it's just... I know there's some cool things there, I just kind of... Sometimes I forget to take photos. Yeah. Sorry, I'm being a little quiet, I'm just trying to put a bit of color on here, under here, because there's should be a little bit of a cast shadow. I think, yeah. So... I think I might have taken some more garden center photos earlier today, but yeah, I wanted to make sure and try and get that. Basically, I wanted to try and get some breakfast items from a fast food place because a coworker of mine was saying some good things about it, but also I just needed to not stay over for too long because I think I mentioned it while you were here. I went to the garden center this morning because I didn't really want to do it after stream, so I figured I'd just do it on the earlier part of the day. But yeah, just kind of snapping some photos, tried to keep my looking around to a minimum because it's pretty easy to get lost in the garden, get kind of lost wandering around in the garden center. Of course, not like literally lost. It's not that big, but, you know, I just like to see all the pretty flowers and all that. It might be possible for me to plant some delphiniums in the flower bed. Not in or my mother's flower bed. Though I'm not sure if it's the best place for a delphinium, though, is the thing. But yeah, so... At least I might have a space for it. Been checked out some of the varieties they're selling there, and it looks like there's one that I might like, but I have to probably take a closer look at it. But yeah, I just kind of mentioned that I'm tempted to start a flower garden next year. You know, I kind of wanted, because I can't do make another patch this year. It's too much work, but okay. But yeah, maybe starting a flower patch might be kind of nice. I think sunflowers would be cool too, but I think that have to be in their own patch as well. Not so much, like, the problem with delphiniums is that they're poisonous, but the problem with sunflowers is that they might kind of choke out everything else. I don't know, I heard that they can be a little bit aggressive when it comes to sucking out the nutrients from the soil, so yeah, of course, if I have space, I might still try to grow them, but yeah, I think they need to go in their own little spot. Because I know sunflowers are edible, actually. But, you know, it's like, I'm looking around and there's all these flowers that I'm tempted to to get. Like there's moss rose, and there's bleeding hearts, as I said before, delphiniums. There's probably other ones that I could find. Maybe irises. One of the flowers I took a photo of too. I forgot what they're called though. They're kind of shaped like delphiniums, but not the actual flower part, but the stalk is kind of reminds me of delphiniums. Foxgloves might be kind of cool, but I'm not sure about those. Last night I actually been watching I watched a video about there's this channel that's basically about building your own cottage garden, and I kind of checked it out because it's kind of interesting to watch, even though I'm probably not going to have an actual cottage garden. But yeah, it's kind of fun to dream about that kind of thing. But yeah, I saw him talking about color theory. I think he has another video about considering the shape of your plants, but or at least in like that artistic sense. But maybe I can check out that video later. I think I need to watch some of these Blender tutorials though. Kind of been asking around for some good hair tutorials, but and also, I don't know if I mentioned this while you were here, but the other day I just like yesterday, I managed to join a Blender group. So, haven't really been able to offer much just because I'm so busy right now, but maybe I can look in there and see if they have any good hair tutorials, maybe some clothing tutorials too. Because I'm a lot more anxious about the hair and the clothing than I was about the body. Like, I think the body modeling is pretty easy to comprehend, just kind of, just build a body and all that. I know it's not going to be the same for it's not going to be the same thing for the clothing and hair, though. I was kind of hoping to follow a different method than like the VOD, or what, because in VOD you kind of have this, you build this like hair mesh and you kind of just draw on it, which for a lot of people is pretty intuitive, but for me it was kind of a nightmare, to be honest. Also, VOD also made it kind of hard to put things into groups and stuff, so it wasn't very. So I kind of was hoping to try something different than that, but I kind of realized that if I do something similar in Blender, it might still be a lot easier to handle. So, because I think the big issue with drawing hair on my character is just because its hair is so long. Like we are talking about butt length hair here, so, and the shape of the head kind of makes it harder to draw it onto. Basically, I can't just draw it on. I have to like use the actual program. Actually, let me see if I can show you my hair length real quick. So, Alt, zoom out. Okay. Whoosh. That's fast. Okay, hopefully this doesn't mess up my pose too much. Yeah, here's my hair. Yeah, so when it's like this long, it's kind of a pain in the butt to draw it on. Of course, I realized part of my technique with the scalp there was probably an issue with with the technique with the scalp, but still, I don't really wanna. I'll just use the blender. Sorry, I'm trying to fix try to test this. Okay, maybe let's zoom out a bit more. All right. Hopefully not too high. I'm a little too high. You don't want to see my head cut off if I get high. All right. Sorry, I kind of messed up my position. Okay, let's turn my head. I try to turn myself at an angle when I'm doing art streams because I'm gonna be like looking down at the tablet rather than right in front of my camera. So yeah, like this is me looking at my camera and this is me looking at the tablet, so You know, it's sort of a little bit of a middle ground. So, yeah, sorry. Feel a little awkward if you missed all of this, but, you know. Okay. But yeah, so that hair is very hard to draw. And it's basically not very easy to retouch it. So, yeah, hopefully Blender will make my life easier. Yeah, sorry to go on that whole tangent. I think I'm just gonna make a small part of this eyelid a bit brighter. Alright. Let's kind of zoom out. Okay, sorry. Let's see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I need to get these the apps right here. Okay. Kind of mark out the areas that are lighter so I can be careful about it. You know, it wouldn't hurt to work with dappled lighting more in the future, but if this works out, maybe like utilize it a little bit in Artfight if I... Of course, hopefully it won't take me too long. I might just do simpler paintings for Artfight. But yeah, I've been thinking about Artfight lately. On Blue Sky, a lot of people are starting to share their like characters or their profiles, I should say. So, wondering if I should get to do that at some point. Artfight happens in July, but you know, it takes a little bit of time to prep, especially if you need to like make your character references and stuff. Because yeah, that's probably part of what I'm gonna start doing in June, is make character references. And you know, maybe I can incorporate that with the Blender training as well. Not so much the paintings, but the character references, because you know, I can practice. I can try more character modeling, maybe like practice drawing my character or sculpting my characters in Blender. I'm kind of wondering if I should redo my character's hands in Blender, because I kind of realized that the topology there is like pretty bad. Even as I was doing it, it was like, ugh. You know, I felt really uncertain about it. I'm just not sure how to go back, because I tried to fix the head beforehand, and I struggled a lot with that. Oops. Oh, shit. Oops. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I need to like put it in a different pose, so hopefully it looks better. Like have the hand and fingers spread out more, and that'll probably give my character more flexibility. Of course, his hands are supposed to be covered in gloves, so... Oh, hello, you're back. I think you missed my old... Basically, I tried showcasing my character while you were gone, because I was trying to explain why I struggled a bit with certain parts of VOD. But like, I see. Also, welcome back. Oh, I'm sorry you missed that. Okay. Yeah, it was just kind of a bit of work to fix my character's angles, but yeah, I was showing off my back hair, so. Yeah, I was kind of talking about my model and basically how I struggled with the hair and VOD, because VOD's kind of finicky for editing and stuff, and because my hair is so long that kind of requires some level of editing, but because of how VOD works, it just kind of that made it kind of challenging. You know what? I think there's a better way to showcase the hair length real quick. Okay. If I can find it. Like you probably saw in reference sheets, but let me get to art. Because I have snapshots of my character. Alright. Yeah, so You can kind of see how long the hair is back here. Yeah, this is way easier, but... Oh, may I see? Yeah, I'll just... But yeah, I'm just going to show you this reference sheet, because it probably does a better job, actually, than just me kind of moving my character around, but... Yeah, because... and wow, that looks beautiful. Thank you. But yeah, it was kind of hard. The problem with drawing it out in VOD is partly because it's a 3D object, so it can get kind of cut off easily, and also because my hair is so long that I had to have like a ton of space to actually draw it. But I always get kind of stopped early or stop in the wrong place, so that kind of screw with the top of the scalp and all that. But so I was kind of worried about using that similar method in Blender, because people try doing something similar in Blender, but I realized that Blender is a little bit easier to use than VOD in terms of like making hair groups and editing and stuff. So, you know, maybe I was thinking that maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I used Blender for that. And it just occurred to me that I might want some dappled lighting right here, so I'm just gonna mark it out real quick. And I bring attention to this hand, or these hands. Okay. I like how the jeans get brighter down your legs. Thanks. Yeah, I try to give that ghostly effect with the legs and arms. Because of course in the original design it's just kind of a tail, but I wanted to make the legs and hands look like they're glowing. With the texture, at least. But yeah, so I do kind of like how the outfit came out. I just kind of prefer how what I originally tended. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna plan out my hair parts for Blender, but this is the wrong design. But you probably seen my character with basically the long coat, the long hat. I mean, there's supposed to be a ghost tail, but I'm gonna try and draw legs first. So, you know, I try to do the same thing. But yeah, the outfit that I'm intending to draw. Hold on, I think I can hide this hat, actually. Maybe not the back parts, but... yeah, so... Basically, I like my long coat. But yeah, sorry, I'm gonna get back to work real quick. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna get this shadow right here. Just put it down. Yeah, I need to get back to blocking out the painting. And just kind of put some ambient occlusion right here. So, just kind of soften this, actually. All right. Sorry, I'm just kind of blocking this out. Okay. Alright. Oop, Blender. This part just went off. Okay, it's just a stream alert for someone else. Yeah, and I'm just trying to... These aren't buttons. I just remembered, so I gotta make sure to fill these in. Okay. Yeah, let's get this hand. Try to remember which is which. Because hands are my enemy in art. Okay. Just try to honestly marking up this. Sorry, I'm just checking the chat. Sorry, I'm might be a little bit dry on the commentary. I'm just trying to get the shading in here. And I kind of just shove the fingers under the other fingers because I'm not very good at this. Okay. Okay. I'm just putting down some of the shading here. Let's get some ambient occlusion right here. And both characters will have the same skin layer, so because I figured it wouldn't hurt. But you know, I generally use a lot of layers, but you know, I should probably not go too crazy because by the end of it, the layer count can get kind of crazy for yours truly. Okay, let's get this area. You know, maybe if I get good at sculpting hands, maybe I'll get better at drawing them. Okay. Honestly, it's just kind of cover this whole thing up real quick. I can just blend it out a little bit. Okay. By the way, I'm not sure if I ever asked you this. Do you do anything, or do you do anything artsy, or do like, not just like, I don't mean just like drawing or anything, but it could include things like crafting. So, because I know you're kind of interested in, or you like hearing about art stuff, but you're not quite. I think you said you're not quite as deep into making art though. It's the wrong layer. No. Okay. Should be an easy fix at least. Now I just started, so Control C, Control V, delete the original, boop. And we can merge it down with the layer it's supposed to be on, and there. Okay. Problem solved. Yep. It's harder when there's like more stuff going on, but I literally just started, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I was gonna put down this darker shadow because I wanted to keep it, but then I realized the problem. Okay. It's actually kind of a desaturated magenta, I realized, so that might be good for shading other stuff with. But yeah, so I'm just gonna put down some of the lighter colors now. Okay. Alright. No, I finally finished part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So it wasn't my first time watching part 5. I actually was able to watch it while it was coming out, but it wasn't really the same for part 6. So I just started part 6 this morning, and I'm kind of enjoying what I'm seeing. It's pretty exciting so far. Basically, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure kind of follows a family of different characters. Usually it focuses on a new member every part, and the main character of this part is named Jolene, and apparently she was framed for murder, so she's kind of trying to get around in like prison. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy so far in this part, but I've only made it to episode 3, so not quite that deep in yet. Okay. All right. Like, I definitely heard mixed things about part 6 in the past, but you know, I think most people kind of like it now, but now that like more people are seeing it, or saw it, I should say. I'm pretty late to the party. But yeah, been kind of watching the dub throughout all this time, so you know, I'm kind of someone who someone who prefers subs over dubs usually, but I wanted to rewatch it while I was drawing, so that's why I've been watching dub, because I can't really watch. You know, I don't speak Japanese, so I have to read the subtitles, but and the dub isn't too bad, but maybe I just I misremember things or not, but I feel like some of the dubbing is kind of sounds a little more juvenile than the original. So I'm not entirely thrilled about that, but you know, I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I watched the JoJo in general. Probably like a few years back since I rewatched the series. But yeah. Okay, let's zoom out. Try to remember what I'm doing. Okay, let's set some lightness here. Shouldn't worry about the shading complexity, but you know. Figured I'd put it down. Okay. Yeah, so this shouldn't. I'm just gonna have this be a gradient. Maybe a little more blended out. Okay. By the way, sorry if there's like sounds outside the stream. I forgot to mention this, but I think like there's actually a few people who don't have to leave today, so basically there's a few people home today, so outside of here. So I'm a little worried about how noisy it'll be. Not super noisy right now, but yeah. Okay. Okay, let's lighten this one up. But yeah, so kind of how basically what I've done earlier, outside of just going out. Okay, this finger should be a part of this hand, so just trying to, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely not used to interlocking hands, so sorry if it doesn't look great. Okay. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to go quite as hard with these deep shadows like I did with these last two paintings, even though I have them marked out. I don't know. I wasn't crazy how Vows came out, even though I was kind of the most excited for his, but I actually think the one for Mouse actually came out pretty well, though. I still haven't entirely finished it. Yeah, I was going to do it yesterday, but then, you know, I had to basically went out yesterday and just didn't have the time. Honestly, I think the zinnias took a great deal of time, because I finally got those guys planned out, but yeah, it's definitely slow to that. Oops. Okay, okay, I'm going back to the darker areas here, so. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. I'm just gonna be soft about it. I'm gonna not try to take the blocking out too quickly, because I realize things look better if I take my time with the blocking out stage. Like, it's less work, basically less work than I would have to deal with later on, so. But yeah. Alright. And probably put a little bit of here. Okay. So zoom out. I think that's generally the... Alright. Got most done with the skin. Maybe. Maybe add a little bit of warmth here, so just a smidge. Okay. And I can probably work on it more later on, but actually I kind of want to blend out the face a little bit. Just make it a little less rough. I like it when my paintings are textured, but maybe not. Not always like super duper textured. I don't know, maybe I just need to get more comfortable with that kind of thing, but you never know. Okay. Let's get this in. Alright, yeah, so I'm just gonna be a chill art day, hopefully. Of course, the blocking out, it's usually pretty mellow. It's a lot of work, but like one of the more satisfying parts of the art process, I think. Because it feels like you're doing a lot of work, but... And it's a lot less nitpicky than the later stages. Okay. I'll just do a quick one for these upper sections. And I won't necessarily blend out the light and dark areas just yet, because as I said before, I want to add some subsurface scattering there, so... You know, after I get a few more things done. Yeah, just kind of these open spaces. Blend them out. Make them a little softer. Okay. Right, and then get this in. Alright. Oh, there. Okay. And I think I'm just gonna take the Silas skin tone from here. Technically I already marked it out, but still. Alright, let's just darken it. Maybe make it a little cooler. Alright, and I want to put it nice and hard down here. So there. Now go ahead and take the lasso tool and just kind of put a quick shadow layer over it. You know what, let's just kind of make it a clipping mask. So I don't really go over here. Oops. Actually, you know what? I'll just make the clipping mask a multiply layer and just kind of, yeah, do that. Alright. Then I can just merge it down. Okay. So I'll take these darker ones and I'll start putting that down. Alright. And this part's probably going to be a little more complicated because there's just more of it. So let me just take a moment and take a drink. I think after the skin layer, I'm going to try and do the actually supposed to handle the water, because I realized I should probably do that. I don't know, I just like doing the skin layer first. But I know I could, when I put that water layer down, it's gonna change the look of the painting quite a bit, I realize. Okay, so I'm just gonna Get this dappled area marked out. Ugh, okay. You know, there's a special name for dappled lighting, but I forgot, so... Basically a Japanese name. Honestly, I tried looking up under that name, but I couldn't really find much. But it's kind of interesting, because I wanted to work with it a lot more. You know, until I did that one, the previous stylus painting, because I just couldn't get it to work out then. But yeah, I think plotting it out earlier, it's going to help a lot. At least it should help a lot. Also, I'm on the wrong color, I just realized. Okay. Alright. Yeah, for these... no, I was on the right one. I just kind of was trying to shade with this dark one. But yeah, I should... But yeah, I guess I'm fine, mostly. Just kind of work out some of these darker areas. Okay. Get this, do. Okay. Okay, so let me just finish the coffee. It's almost there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, kind of thinking about Blender again, just because that was basically my previous week. Just staying up late, just kind of trying to put down the body. And I know it's going to get a bit harder soon, just because Yeah, I feel like the body was going to be the easy part. Because it kind of just make a nice sculpt and then try to make clothes, build off clothes from that. It's going to be a bit more of a challenge. Like I was using a tutorial too, but I know that tutorial is more for, it's more so meant for just kind of making us 3D or digital sculptures than actual something that's going to actually move around. So I'm gonna have to jump to another tutorial. Okay. Try to fill this in. Okay, just kind of... Yeah, the person who invited me to that 3D group, I actually kind of want to... I just realized I haven't asked her what she specifically wants to make, because I'm kind of curious. I mean, I know, have an idea, just kind of... have a general idea, just not really... not quite as specific, so... Not sure how much info they would want me to share, though, is the thing. So I'm probably not gonna say too much. Spread this up more. Yeah, trying to make this area a little stand out a little less. This like rib cage part right here, because it kind of looks like it's supposed to be a pectoral, but then it would look super off. So Yeah, the actual other pectoral muscle is covered up, so yeah, just have to tone down this one real quick. Okay. But yeah, I'm just kind of covering this up, covering the dark sections. Maybe don't need to be quite as intense with this area, just because. Actually, I think going heavier with this color may actually make it pop less, because then it'll be closer to the actual skin. And then going a bit softer with the darker areas would then make it darker, so yeah, might work. Okay. Hold on, let me look at stylus reference. Okay. Yeah, this area should probably start turning green pretty soon, actually, so. Or should have started turning green earlier, but how about maybe around more in this area. I think it's actually still his initial skin color, so I'll mark it out. But up here should start transitioning to green, so because his back is more green than more of a greenish color. It's been a while since I drawn this guy. Alright. I'm just gonna check my browser real quick. Okay. Admittedly feeling a little anxious today, but just about some stuff that's pretty unrelated, but yeah, it's besides the point. Just probably just not worry about it too much. Yeah, so sorry, I'm suddenly feeling a bit down, so okay. Let's get this stuff in here. Actually, even as far as here, it might start turning green, so I'll just go down a little bit, and then I'll add the green later. I'm also gonna work out the cheekbone area a bit more. So just kind of come in here. All right. Actually, just mark out this general shadowed area under the nose right here, and of course the lips. Of course, I'll add some more color later on, because I think Sila has blue lips. Maybe. Okay, bluish green. Actually, I think I'm gonna do a lurk for someone else real quick. I haven't really done that before, but hopefully there's, of course, with my sound thing. Oops, too high, too high. Okay, one. Okay, nope. Okay. Can't hear much, so it should work. Yeah, I just wanted to try lurking in other people's stuff, because I don't do that much myself, so. Okay. Yeah, just help other people out a bit. Some people definitely try to be supportive, but Yeah, basically I need to interact with my fellow streamers a bit more. Especially my fellow art streamers. I try to pop in sometimes, but sometimes I feel like I don't have the ton of energy to actually chat with people is the thing. I'm kind of tired all the time. Not as bad nowadays, but well, I guess this week definitely was that bad, but just people that I don't want to interact with me back. Also, sorry if there's uh-oh. Someone's vacuuming out there. Yeah, sorry if you guys hear that. Maybe I can just turn down the sensitivity. Okay. Yeah. As I was saying earlier, I want to maybe try to support my fellow streamers in some other ways. Also probably make more art streamer friends. Maybe even pull off a stream together one of these days. I don't know. I know that Chris KC mentioned it a while ago, but I don't think we ever really gotten around to it. Just seems like it'd be kind of nice to have someone to chat with, or more people to chat with. Okay, okay, and the arms turned green too. Okay. Also, probably not gonna worry about drinking more coffee today because I already had quite a bit of coffee earlier. Yeah, I think I had my 3 mugs. Try not to drink too much because then you get kind of jittery. The problem with me is that I just like the taste of coffee. It's just I like the I like drinks that are warm and bitter, basically. But yeah, so I'm trying to be a little more careful about that. Okay. Yeah, I just need to mark out these, okay. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to be a little more complicated. Shading's going to need to be a bit more complicated with this nose area, I realize. Okay, let's just start marking out these lighter areas, because it's kind of... This whole thing looks a little off to me. Of course, I still haven't filled in this area. Oops. Okay, after this, real quick, then I'll just kind of... come here. Alright. Also gonna need to use the restroom at some point. I don't know, I'm just kind of nervous about going out right now because, there's 2 other people out there right now, so, yeah. Okay, hold on. Try to mark out this area. This entire arm looks like it's in actual light, so. Also, the dappled lighting's a little bit spontaneous, which is why it isn't planned out the best. Probably could have planned it out a bit better, but, Okay. Alright, filling this in. Got more dappled lighting right here. Right here as well. Okay. So let's get the bigger brush. Try to be a little bit careful with it. It's a little harder to control big brushes, but, it gets the job done a lot faster. Okay, so just fill it in. Okay. Fill it in, fill it in. Alright. Honestly, make this a little less blocky right here. Just cut off the corners, basically. This dapple is maybe a little too close to the skin. Or the edge, I should say, not the skin, but... No, just kind of... I think it's probably just going to look a little rounded, but... Just going to hit this darker tone real quick. Okay. Sorry, it just zoomed out. Okay. Just trying to be... Yeah, marking out the edges, basically. And I need to be a little more cautious around this area, so I'm just going to hold off on that. I'll try to cover up this area. Okay. So just filling this in. Okay. You know, yesterday I was basically chatting with a couple of people about the Blender stuff. And something I forgot to consider is VRM files, so I'm suddenly a little worried about that. Part of me is wondering if I should, like, actually make my character avatar twice. That should take a crazy amount of time, though. I mean, I figured it'd be faster if I got to it. Sorry, hold on. Oops. Switch. Okay, sorry about that. You know, I figured it'd be faster the second time around, but you never know. But of course, I imagine Model 2 being a lot more polished because I actually know what I'm doing. But yeah. It's kind of fun to talk with people about project plans, though, so there's that. Okay. But yeah, I think I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I recently joined the group and I kind of feel bad because I can't really do anything. Can't work on any of my Blender projects. Like, some people are, like, excited to do things like collabs, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't do anything right now. I have to finish my work. Yeah, but yeah. Okay. Managed to... Already got that filled in. Let's check out Scylla. Okay, I think this, maybe I need to open another reference, I think. So hold on a moment. Ooh. Scylla, yep, right here. Okay. We open this. Okay, it only goes down here, I think. So kind of a, honestly, kind of a cool shape. Now, I think a little bit earlier, I actually heard of an animal called the sea quill. It's kind of a crazy creature. I might be remembering things. No, I'm thinking, am I? Actually, I think it's something that sticks to the ground. I also heard of oh yeah, the deep... It's also a crazy jellyfish, so I'm mixing it up, but it's like... You know, my character design motif is actually supposed to be a quill pen, even though I don't actually ink. You know, I was trying to get into inking when I designed the character. I just never really went through with it. But yeah, I saw it and it's like, oh, it's me. But yeah, so... Yeah, I think it was just a YouTube short. Hopefully it wasn't one of those AI channels, but I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. Maybe widen this a bit. Just let it run down off the image. Feel like I'd screw with the composition a little bit. I'm just gonna... Should probably be a transition. Because it looks like it's getting close to the edge right there, but, you know, don't really want the... It doesn't really look quite great. I don't think so. If it just hit the edge, so I'm just gonna, you know, try to make a little transition. Okay. Actually, not 100% sure how to handle the subsurface scattering for Sila's actual skin color. Probably just kind of a blue color. I don't think he actually has blue blood, though, is the thing. But it look kind of... feel like it would look a little weird if I tried that. Okay. Hold on. PA2, mark out this area. Okay. Because I completely forgot about how all of this is supposed to be dark blue. Okay. The center area, I mean. So let's get that. Okay. Just fill it in. Okay. Okay, gonna fill this in. Do. Sorry, it's... Okay, this part's a little bit boring. Sorry about that. It's also kind of messy looking. Okay. Zoom out, zoom back in. I think this area actually has a little bit of a transition going on, so I'll just kind of throw some of its darker color down before I get to this to the lighter color. Okay. Just a little bit over here. Okay. Okay. Okay, it doesn't need to be quite that small. Yeah, I'm trying to be delicate right here. It gets a little more complicated. Now I can fill this in. Hope this isn't the thumbnail for my stream. Sometimes the thumbnails that Twitch gives my bots can be kind of random. Oh no. Hold on. Did you turn off the power? Okay, save. Okay. Are you serious? Can't believe this is still going on. Okay, stop. Sorry, power stage. I didn't expect them to turn off the power. Am I back on? Okay. Nope, not yet. Am I back on? No? Okay. There. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, they just turned the power off in my room, so turn it back on, but like, ugh, kind of killed the. Okay, let me just try to reset up everything. Yeah, I turned off the Wi-Fi too, so I had to wait for that to come back on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's turn the music back on. Okay. Yeah. Come back in through my cell phone too. It sucks. Okay, let me just try to reload this browser, and then, yeah, I think I lost everyone, so. Yeah, that's why I usually don't have to worry about other people on Tuesdays, but I guess I should probably keep the stream shorter today. Try to go on longer for Friday. You know, I have other things I have to do anyway, so like the other art pieces, I mean, so I probably want to get some of them done before May, and it's supposed to be for May. Could be kind of dumb to get it late. Okay. This area. No, I'm flipping it back over. Yeah, so when I finished the image, the general plan for the image, I realized that's kind of it looked kind of weird, so yeah, I decided not to go so hard with the deeper shadows today. Sorry, I'm just kind of zooming out, trying to make some basic decisions. Okay. Also, I'm going to need to take a break pretty soon just because I really need to use the restroom. Okay. But yeah, it's kind of off my game today, I think. Of course, I won't be. I don't think I'll be here next. Well, I'll be here next Friday, but next Tuesday I'm going to be gone, so. Kind of wondering if I should try and do an extra stream or go in for longer on Friday, but I'm not sure. Probably just try to keep my streamer schedule normal. Yeah, so. Sorry, my enthusiasm kind of died out. Yeah, I feel like, sorry to complain about streamer stuff. If there's any like lurkers here, just kind of I feel like it's getting kind of harder to get seen recently. Maybe I have to advertise a little bit more, but yeah, sorry if there's anyone already here that doesn't want to hear it. Just feeling a little bit down about it. Just kind of a hard time growing compared to others, so get kind of depressed about that sometimes. But yeah, I want to at least get some of the basic designs down. Maybe I can work on the flowers off stream. That'll be the off stream thing. Of course, with how complicated this piece is, I might have to end way before that. Okay. Zooming out. Zoom in. Sorry, I need to make sure to stop and observe what I'm doing. Stop and observe what I'm doing. So, also let's get this right here, just to mark out where the water line should be. I'll probably have to deal with the water line later. But yeah, these characters are supposed to be. Well, Scylla is partially. No, the merman. Scylla is supposed to be partially submerged, but I guess its past self is supposed to be completely submerged. So, like, I do plan to do that on put the actual water filter on a separate layer. Not like a filter, but just kind of maybe a multiply layer or a couple of layers that kind of dull down anything under the water. Okay. All right. Also, it's too close to the edge. I'll try to round it out. This lighter area, I mean. Oh yeah, and I was supposed to tone this down, so just kind of cover it up. Get these edges. Honestly, just go over this real lightly. Okay. Sorry, just taking deep breaths. Okay. Don't burp on stream. Don't burp off stream. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably. Sorry, I've been so really off these recent weeks. Maybe this week and next week I can finally start thinking about panels. Because I keep thinking about, like, getting my panel area nice and trying to make that look nice, but I haven't really been trying, I guess I should say. I don't know, graphic design is a little bit of a barrier for yours truly. It's not something not something I really like to work on. I don't know, this overlay is basically the best I can do, but yeah, maybe if I make my page nicer, maybe more people will give me a chance. But of course, maybe I'm just not that exciting of a streamer. Sorry, I'm being really down in the dumps right now. I just remembered that this hand is supposed to be green. Oh my god. Okay. It's supposed to be covered in scales. So, oops. Okay. No, I'll just worry about it later. Oops. No. Wrong color. Just kind of wrap this area around. Yeah, I haven't been watching a ton of anime lately. I mean, I guess I kind of have, but only for like 2 shows right now. JoJo and the Apothecary Diaries, of course. I'm not Honestly, I'm not entirely sure why they didn't have a episode last week. Maybe I could have looked that up, but you know, I thought maybe it was Golden Week because a lot of shows are paused then. But you know, I think Golden Week's another time of the year, so yeah, just didn't get my episode lately. Last week I got today's or got this week's episode, so there's at least got that. But yeah, definitely last week I was kind of like, what the heck, man? Hold on. Oh yeah, I think this general area is supposed to be lighter right here. So let's work on this other zone. And then I can work on the brighter areas. Okay. I know I need to do stuff for YouTube as well, but that's just... Yeah, I feel like kind of like my hands are just too full in general. I'm trying to learn a bunch of different skills. Like, I don't have a history of learning video editing or anything. And I'm still trying to make my... You know, as I was talking about earlier, the 3D model. I got a 3D model right now, but, you know, I kind of want to make something closer to my vision. And I keep saying that I want to do videos, but I just can't seem to get around to that. You know, if I do like double models, it might be worth it to record and make a video about it, about the second one. But yeah, I'm wondering if I should do if I do a second one, I'm going to do that in T-pose, because I think the A-pose might cause me issues. I'm also starting to yearn for VR chat again, but you know, I just can't afford a headset. I mean, I could probably just go on my regular PC, but I have to see. Yeah, I like that issue with a repo is kind of made me a little nervous about playing game or doing group stuff, because you know, I had a very, very hard reset, or not reset, but shut down, because the PC got so hot. Probably not as big of an issue for VR chat, but still, you know, I might have to use my built-in microphone rather than the, you know, the nicer one that I got right here, but it'll probably sound like crap, so that's like okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, finally. You know, the skin tone's like squid colored. I just realized that. Of course, it's just the shaded area, but probably look better once I get the lighter areas in. Alright. Should also probably get this color in as well, so lighten up. Actually hit the... Let's make it a little grayer, and then I'll just kind of go in. Okay. And I'll just come in with this lighter color. So there. I mean, Scylla is supposed to be like really pale, so yeah. Okay, so let's zoom out, get to the palette section, and finally get these lighter areas. Like, finally. Just gonna soften this area. Put the lighter color down here too. Kind of just hit the edges a bit. Alright. Okay. And I'll just blend it out later, so. Yeah, let's get this later area in. Yeah, part of the reason why I don't draw this dude is because of how complicated his colors are. Because when my older style, I used to not really do paintings, but more of something a little more cleaner and more cartoony. And so making like a ton of different gradients wasn't too problematic then. But now it's like I try to make gradients here and it's just kind of stressful. So just try to make everything look right and all that. Basically like multicolored hair and all that. Body parts. Just something I have a hard time with, because with it, it gets kind of drowned out in all the rendering and stuff. And it's kind of been my big issue with Scylla. It's got so much gradients going on. Okay. But hopefully it's not too bad now. Okay. Alright. So just try to get these areas marked out. Like right here. Try not to add a highlight to the groin area. Okay. Okay. Alright. I keep forgetting that's supposed to be green here. Oops. I have to go over it again with the actual color. Okay, let's get this cast area. Okay, let's get this, yeah, it's shadow. Gonna drag it in. Okay. Alright. Zoom out. Oops, I think I missed the armpit right here. Uh-oh. I'll just get it with this greener color. Then just kind of... Alright. I'll just kind of mark out this area. Okay. Kinda cover up this area. I'll go over it a little bit. So the eyelashes, I mean, just because it's a little too much. Okay, just kind of adding some lighter colors to the tips of the nose, just because it's to help bring it out a little bit, I should say. Okay. I realize I've been it's been like 2 hours on the skin tone alone, but you know, it takes time to do this. So, just gonna add a little bit of lighter up because I forgot to mark out the waterline there. Just gonna softly apply it. Okay. Yeah, this little square is supposed to be darker because I thought it'd be a little more interesting if it wasn't completely clean cut. Okay. think someone's phone was going off, but it's not mine, so. Okay. Sorry, I haven't been dropping interesting commentary or anything. I think I mentioned earlier that I got terraces for the cucumbers. Kind of a little bit excited about that. Kind of looks cool from a distance. Of course, it'd be nice if it had cucumbers on it, but you know, most people are just planting their cucumbers now. Looking at a distance, it's like, wow, very scooper colored. Need to like make the skin tone a lot lighter, actually. Okay. And someone's in the bathroom, dang it. I was about to take my break after this. Alright. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just lightening up this area. The brighter areas. Okay. Trying to not be squirted coated here. Alright. Now let's... Okay. I'm just gonna lighten this area real quick. Make it bluer, actually. Make the sclera a bit bluer. So it's really a bit separated. Okay. Then we can lighten the color up and just kind of basically make it lighter, as I said before. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I hope it looks like I got something done today. I feel like they're trying to do hardware work out there. It's a problem. You know, it's kind of good enough for the skin layer. I'll come back. Ah, shoot. Did it again. Hold on. The exact same mistake as I made earlier. Okay, Control C. Okay, then V. And then delete in the palette layer. Okay. Yeah, I put that all in the palette layer again, so. Okay, so I'm just gonna look up a reference image real quick. Oops. I almost wrote reference image. So that's not it. Okay, clear pond. See how it looks. So I think the area where the sun hits directly, it's gonna actually be less clear. Maybe. Yeah, I'm just looking at some photos because I'm kind of realizing that the open water is actually going to be a lot lighter. Of course, it might make it just like a light mid-tone, so still want this other stuff to stick out more. But yeah, this might be a little more complicated than I intended. Also, I need to take my break, so I'm just gonna... Sorry, I realized how skewed that probably looks. Get back to OBS. Okay, let's get to the BRB screen and I'll mute. So see you guys soon. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Okay. Man, it feels like I barely did anything these past 2 hours, doesn't it? Okay. Just drink my water real quick. Kind of shocked, actually. Okay. Maybe I can work on that. Maybe it'll look... I'm just wondering if it'll look a bit better if I worked on the BG real quick. Yeah, sort of this bluish color. Also, wasn't there supposed to be a saturation layer? I think I forgot. Okay, put this above the color group, and I'll name it Sat, or Saturation. Set it to Saturation. I just want to make sure this blue is what I want it to be, so... Sorry, I'm just checking something. Yeah, okay, sorry. Spam bot. Okay, let me get the saturation layer. So, yeah, and I can check this blue real quick. See if it's a mid-tone or not. Let's get it down here. Oops. It's not what I wanted. Okay, layer 1. And we can check. Yeah, that's about right. So, basically a light mid-tone, basically. Or the lighter end of the mid-tone spectrum. So, right now I'm just working out with this bluer color. And that'll basically be it's supposed to look like it's the sky reflection a bit. Kind of like sky. Actually make it a bit grayer and darker. Check again. Because I think I want it to be not sure if I want it to be super sunny. I might actually put a golden green filter over it later, but I guess I'll probably handle it now. Okay. But yeah, just probably shouldn't worry about being... Okay, I'm on the right layer too, so don't want to make that same mistake again. Maybe I can mix a bunch of different colors in it so it can look a little more interesting. Maybe some greens to hint at some stuff below it. I guess I haven't really thought about the background enough. Okay. Try to make it a little more like a tree right here. But yeah. Not sure why it took me an hour to do the skin. I'm sorry. It's just like, I'm generally wondering how. Usually a lot faster on that kind of thing. Okay. I'm kind of trying to ignore these spaces here because I just kind of left that so I can make sure to basically make sure I know where the space is. I don't know, part of me is wondering if I should end the stream early. That's why I'm kind of so concerned. Because, like, family members are trying to do a bunch of housework, and it's like kind of screwing with my streaming and all that. But yeah, I'm going to start with a bluer base right now, I guess. Like a sky color. Actually, maybe I should make it more yellow. Because I kind of want it to have a similar vibe to another piece of art piece from the past. Basically that last painting I did, actually. Let me just kind of course, it's a little more of a sunsetty look, I think. I guess maybe not sunsetty, but just that swampy look. Hold on. Sorry, I have a lot of different whips of that piece. Okay. But yeah, so kind of a golden look from behind him. Just not sure how I'm going to incorporate that one. It just feels a little too fresh, this color, I should say. Okay. A more hazy look. Okay, so let's see. Just gonna go in here. Just kind of fill it in. Okay. Sorry, I'm being a little quiet, aren't I? I'm just kind of getting things in. So let's get this. Okay. I wonder if I should rate Niome again or try someone new. You know, like she's a pretty nice person. I just prefer to. Sometimes I just want to spread my wings out a bit, I guess. With other art streamers, at least. Not that I mind the people that I normally stream. Obviously, if I normally rate them, then I don't mind them. It's just kind of... Just try to... Just think... You know, just potentially meet new streamers and all that. It's a little risky when you're doing it with a rate, though. That's the thing. And I'm just really bad about finding other streamers or watching streams during the weekend, so... Like, sometimes I try to watch some streams during the weekdays, but on the weekend I'm just kind of tucker it out. Because I feel like I should, like, chat a bit when I'm in other people's streams, just to give them company, I guess. I know not everyone sees that as a big deal, but still. Okay. And I know this area is dark, so. Okay. Of course, it's probably closer to my normal work pace, so. Talking about how slow I've been. Because I am kind of a slow artist. I can't work as fast as others, so. And it's caused a lot of projects to be unfinished, but I know I need to get those other two finished. Just kind of... Because I think I said it before, but I actually managed to get my art trade piece done, or close to done pretty quickly, but it's just kind of... I just have to do that cleanup, and that's kind of something that's a little out of my forte. So... I'm still not sure what the heck I'm doing with VOW, so... Hell yeah. Okay. I hope I don't get dragged into cleaning later, because I have things I said before, I have things that I need to do. Kind of got disrupted yesterday. I don't really want to get disrupted 2 times in a row. Off stream, I kind of want to also plot out the hair parts for VOW. Not VOW, me, my character. This is a little out of my comfort zone. I mean, I kind of know what I want to do because I've done it in VOD, but I wasn't thrilled about how it came out in VOD, so I thought it looked a little weird. I mean, it's probably not too bad, but I actually have a scribbled or doodle I did in my sketchbook a little while back, so should check that out again. Yeah, it's what this is for. It's just yeah, the profile here looks kind of weird, doesn't it? Yeah, profiles are my weak point. The part of me wants to do it twice, since I'm so new to it. So new to modeling, I should say, but it's gonna take a while. Okay. Okay. Alright, getting there, guys. Let's make my brush bigger. I don't want to make it too big, because then it starts to lag really badly. I think like 200 pixels is the limit. Okay. Yeah, I prefer working on bigger canvases, because then I have a higher resolution, but on the downside, it feels like the program kind of struggles with higher resolutions. Yeah, a lot of problem with digital is things get kind of crushed on a lot. But if you want to like print it out, you need it to be a higher resolution, you know? Or just look really ugly. Of course, I don't know how many people would want to buy my prints at this point. Yeah, I kind of wanted to make a business out of my art, but, you know, with all the world events and all that. Alright. I think after this background, I'll try to work a bit faster. I just feel like it's way slower than my normal. Or my slower than normal, yeah. Okay. Just delicately put color in. And I'll probably blend it out a bit just to make it a little smoother. Okay. These water lilies are supposed to be white, by the way, so wonder how that's gonna affect the composition. Yeah, things are still pretty in the air, aren't they? Okay, just gonna come on, hurry up. Okay. Alright, let's get that. Yeah, this kind of greenish color. Of course, the green's probably from the leaves and stuff. Still. Just later green. Get this yellowy in here. Gonna dabble it in right now. It's probably better for the leaf cut or these darker areas, because that's basically the tree branches. Okay. Basically, I probably should have some stuff to make to imply it's a little bit see-through. Maybe like a little fish swimming around in the middle. That might be a little bit interesting. Maybe some buds coming up. Sorry, I'm itching my nose. Also, let's get some this brownish color in here. Oops, that's buried. Okay. Hide this. Let's get this purpley color, actually. And it probably look brown when I start mixing it in. You know, I need to move the palette up above palette up above. Okay. Yeah, so I can actually see it. And then just hide it, because I don't need it right then. Okay, especially around the characters and stuff. Yeah, okay. Maybe a little bit grayer so it looks brown. But actually, this is a very desaturated magenta color. Dog's barking. Okay. Nope, stop. Okay, set it to 95 right now, just so it's a little toned down. Okay. And I'm just blending it out a bit right now. Don't worry about the darker areas right now. And it just stopped. Why is it stopping? Yeah, okay, it's back. Did I have an internet pickup or something? Let me check the... Oops. Come on. Okay, it still seems... My bitrate's still okay. It's just the music kind of paused for a moment. I was a little bit worried about that, so... Yeah, okay, let's get back to OBS. Didn't look like stream paused at all. So, not really sure what happened. It's a little... Anyways. Yeah, it's actually looking a little muddy right now, but, you know, it's kind of supposed to. It's a swamp ground. But yeah, I have to figure out the clearer areas. I think the shadows would actually be a bit clearer, won't they? Actually, maybe a little brighter. No. Let's see. Sorry. I'm just gonna add a... Sorry, apply this real quick. Okay. I'll deal with it later. Yeah, I think I just have to. But yeah, let's just name this Water 1. In case I add more water layers. Probably won't, but you know. Yeah, so that's just let me... How about I start adding more of the scaly parts? Like the basically is green. So basically his tail has a very subtle gradient, as you can see. Oops, please move. Sorry, my mouse hasn't been working amazing right now. Probably because it kept smashing at one time, but you know, probably try to not do that now. For obvious reasons. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, these two colors actually should probably wouldn't hurt to just hold on. Do another multiply layer. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get very far today. Sorry guys, but set this to multiply. It's probably because I was taking my time. Trying to be careful and all that. Alright. Okay. Let's get on with this. Let's start off with this, I'm going to start off with the brighter areas for the tail, actually. Just so I know what I'm doing. Okay. Just maybe not the smartest move, but, you know. I'll just deal with it. Oops. A little too much right there. Just gonna make this edge a bit brighter anyway. Okay, just kind of mark out these bright areas. Okay. Yeah, just trying to remember what my markings here are for. Yeah, it's more brooding. Have both the brighter green and the more viridian looking green. And it'll be... I really remembered that the viridian green is his lower tail, so... I don't think you can see the tip of his tail. Actually, it's supposed to have that marked out. Whoops. Oh. Yeah, the end of his tail is supposed to be around here, actually. I forgot to mark that in last time. Whoops. Whoops. Great. I'll have to deal with that later, so oops the daisy. Yep, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. I'll just focus on the arms right now. Can I round this out? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we start to work on these arms. Look at the reference real quick. Okay. Yeah, the lighter area and the darker area. So think about here, then to here, and then the verdian, or the darker verdian, starts around this wrist, I think. So okay. And do the same around here. Okay. Just kind of be careful. Music paused again. Let me check. Okay. Because I have a plugin now that's supposed to keep it from doing that, so and maybe it's just taking a bit of time for it to work. Yeah, I think that might just be the reason why. So okay, let's just mark this arm in. Maybe make this green a bit higher. There's actually a third shade of green that transitions from the skin tone to the arm, so I'll put that in this area. So okay. Yeah, I think this entire area right here is supposed to be lighter, so I'll put my darker one in and around here. Of course, I need to imply that transition or that gradient rather than just have it be hard. And this is the complicated part. At least I believe so. Okay, just kind of going very bright with this. Okay, and yeah, at the end here, I just kind of brush it subtly, nice and subtle. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing with the other arm. Of course, there's already a bunch of shading, but right here. Yeah, this is where I want to hit. No, hit this here and hit this one here. Sorry. Trying to think on the spot. It's not going great. Okay. Just fill it in. Fill it in. Okay. Alright. I've got these filled in. Zoom out. Oh yeah, I remembered the ears. Of course, that's just the tip of it, so it should be this very pale green right here. Speaking of this very pale green, we're just gonna throw it in real quick. Up here. Yeah, it should be good enough. Okay. And just kind of blend it in a little bit. Yeah, this concept art brush offers a little bit of blending. Fortunately, I don't remember who made it, which kind of sucks, but yep. Oops, sorry, zooming all around the place. Okay, so now we're gonna get this darker colors. This one and this one. So yeah, I need to get this darker green right here, kind of in here, basically in here. Sorry. And kind of mess around with this one. Since it's on different layers, it's not really blending, so I'll have to deal with that a bit later. Okay. Just kind of whoop. Yeah, so try to have it be a little bit of a harder edge. Okay. Okay, and then hit this area real quick. Just kind of be subtle with it. Of course, go with this darker green. This supposed to represent this the very bright green right over here. Oh, represent the bright green over here. Okay, and I think my playlist ended. Sorry about that. Go all the way around. Boop. Okay. And we're back to the start. Of course, I started on the second one, so maybe not all the way back to the start. But yeah. I guess I'll aim for a 3-hour stream today. So 45 minutes. And I feel like it should probably just end earlier today because of all the chaos out. All the chaos out there. Chaos out there. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I'm putting in this saturated green, and I go back out and get this mint viridian color. Yeah, speak of the devil, viridian. Yep. Yeah, so I'll just go in. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so kind of wondering if I should make the tip of that. Yeah, I'll just kind of make the edge at the end of this one right here, just kind of a little bit of this viridian color. So yeah, this character is actually more viridian than the character, my final character. At least maybe. His hair is more, I think Varia's hair is more of a minty green without the highlights. Yeah. Unless you consider Viridian to be a minty green. But it's not, they don't quite align, I don't think, so. Alright. Okay. So I'm just putting this in. Okay. Alright. Okay. So zoom back out. Sorry, I'm just checking it out. I feel like these shoulders will have some, there's a little bit of grin on the shoulders. So, yeah, I don't want to switch out this yet, so. And if I remembered that correctly, this, there's some dappled lighting on here, but I'm not sure where it begins and ends, actually. So, yeah, probably around here. So, let me just get this area. And this little bit should be lighter. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just kind of mark this out. Okay. Gonna try not to take too long. Not sure if I'll keep the promise though, is the problem. Okay. Alright. And you have these ends right here, which will just be shaded anyway. Okay. Alright. And I'll probably define the fingers more later on, but not right now. I don't want to worry about this too much. Okay. So let's try to be a little more thoughtful in how I do this. So sorry. Trying to be entertaining. Not very good at it. Alright. Okay. Okay. Of course I made that darker, but it should just be like this. Sorry. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Zoom out, zoom back in. Yeah, I forgot this finger. Just kind of, yeah, these are both dark, so. Okay. Yeah, I need to put that brighter one down real quick so I can so I can remember what I'm supposed to be doing here. Okay. Yeah, so I think July, when I start doing art fight, I'm gonna try and learn how to, or try to practice painting faster, so might be more, things might be, artworks might be a little more simplified, but hopefully it'll be worth it. Yeah, I was like pounding things out last year, so. Of course, I was also spending every waking moment, not every waking moment, but it's either every waking moment that I wasn't at work, basically. So, probably not going to go as hard as I did last year, but because I wanted it to be a little more reasonable. My efforts to be a little more reasonable, I should say. But yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna try to put down this darker color. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend it out right here, so. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I already have this one, so may as well just keep going in. I also miss this area, but it's gonna be a little bit of a cast shadow from this lily pad, actually, so probably not worry about it too much. Yeah, so the darker areas for the tail, though, I have not figured it out quite yet. If you've been paying attention, so I'll have to worry about that soon too. Okay. Alright, just try to fill this in pretty quickly, because it's a pretty big, simple area. I'll have to add scale details later, but I don't usually get that detailed with the scales, because that kind of thing drives me crazy. Okay. Try to get it down. Alright. Work it out. Let's try to... Of course, I remember a big part of speed is having steadier hands, I realize. So maybe I should try doing that more. I mean, I always think that, but then I forget, so... Okay. Alright. Okay. Just kind of put it down, bigger one. Okay. Yeah, really, like this. Shrink it again. Okay, shrink it a little more. This area's a bit tight. Okay. Scratch my head because I itched. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's time to come up with a darker shadow. So this might work. I want it to be a little bit bluer though. Like this. That could work. Okay. Alright. Just kind of add it in carefully. Maybe a little more blue, actually. Yeah, it looks fine. Just want it to look kind of nice. Okay. Just throw this in. Okay. Yep. Oh, I've missed this area. Hold on. Sorry, zoom out all the way so I can see the palette. Put it. Yoink. Okay. Yeah, this little area, I forgot to add the darker parts, so I gotta do that real quick. Just kind of Okay. So just kind of, yeah, just blend it together. So like these two tones together, and hopefully they'll work out. Okay. And then I have to climb up the back because his back is actually supposed to be green, like his scales. Okay. All right. And of course the tail right here. Oop, dang it. Went way over right there. Okay. Alright, alright. Okay. Yeah, and I'll just kind of throw it in for this arm right here. Actually, hold on. I need to add it to the palette real quick. Okay. Shoot. Okay. Because I'm probably going to have to transition it soon, too. So it's less purpley. Or make it blue, I should say, for the verding. So. Because it's still kind of warm compared to some of the other colors. Okay. Oops. Okay. Yeah, hopefully I can get more work done this Friday, because I'm not going to be able to do much of anything this next Thursday. Yeah, next week, because I'm going to be away. You know, maybe I'll doodle a little chibi with his little suitcase. Go on vacation. Adios. Adios. I'll see you later. Sorry. It's not as cute with the big model. Only really works with the little chibi models. Not that I have a V-Ride model, but... or chibi V-Ride, but... you know, my PNG model was a lot more aligned with that. Okay. Throw some green here, throw some green here. Okay, and then I'll make it a lot bluer. And that will be for the Rudian parts, or the hand. Hand and the tail if I remember it, so. Because I'm good. It's probably better off stream, or on a different stream, I should say. But yeah. Alright. Okay. Just gonna blend it here. Just put it down. Okay. And on here, just add it around. Kind of wondering if this dark blue and the dark color for the skin actually should kind of blend together around this area, but I'm not sure yet. Might be kind of visually interesting. But that's a later thing. Honestly, the base color for this from the underpainting is pretty nice. But yeah, I'll have to think about that later when I'm not on stream. I just remembered the neck is supposed to have color too. Yeah, this guy has a lot of colors on him, so let's go back to the palette layer real quick so I can record this color. Oop. Okay. And I'll get this back to the warm green. So I gotta put that down. Yeah, this is why I don't draw this dude very often. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna separate the head and the neck. I mean, I'm not used to working in this specific head angle, so maybe this will help it. Okay. But yeah, so just kind of throw it down. especially in the collarbone area. I like to do that. Okay. Okay, so hold on, let me get the skin tone again. I haven't filled in this little area right here, so I gotta do that real quick. Line up this area a bit too. Ah, dang, I forgot the sun. I'll deal with it later. And this... crap. Okay. Just realized there's a bunch of background areas that I forgot to deal with, but yeah, I can't deal with it right now. Just thinking I should probably do the hair, or start working on the hair first. Scylla has pretty complicated hair, so I'll have to keep these two hair layers separated. More hair for insanity. And also because it's just next to each other, so. Alright. So let's start with the top of his head and just kind of work my way down. Yeah, the very top of his head has this kind of very dark blue. Actually, did I shade this? Okay, yeah, I got it shaded. Oops. Had to make it even darker, actually. Because I think all of it, basically all that piece of his hair is in the darker area, so it's going to be a lot darker. So just kind of scribble it in. It's not a pretty small section of his hair, so yeah, I'm going to focus on the gradient and these hard shadows first, and then I'll add the details to that later. Okay. Just kind of throw it in for his eyebrows. Because I want to. Okay. Yeah, and just put this down real quick. Probably not going to save this specific one. I'll just come back. I'll just take it with the eyedropper. Okay. Okay. Honestly, maybe further in. Shoot. To the back. I'll just throw in some more of this blue. Okay. Let's move on to the meridian again. Actually, now that I think about it, I should probably just move a lot more of this blue in, because so it just separates from this little area. It's not supposed to go down that far, but you know. Okay, mouse. Okay, mouse wasn't working. Sorry. Did I remember that? No, I put it in the wrong area, huh? Oops. Okay. Oh well. So, let me check the reference. They all go about here. It's usually the tips that are lighter, so kind of hits that lightness point before the longer parts. So I'll just try to keep that in mind. Just kind of, yeah. So basically, I'm trying to just put it down. All right. Of course, get around these areas. Just remember there's a light area around here, so. I wonder if I should let the hair be a little more simplified this time. Because of all the dappled light, it's going to make, between the dappled light and the gradient's gonna get kind of complicated, I realize. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alright, I'll just cover this up with the darker color. Okay. Zoom out a bit, just to have a more open look. Okay. Zoom in. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of, observing like I usually been trying to do. Okay, just kind of mark color in these areas real quick. Well, the darker areas, I mean. Can't really see it much on my other monitor. I swear I'm doing stuff here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna take this lighter color now. Should probably just kind of simplify this area. So let's separate these two. All right. Okay. All right. So got that marked out. This marked out. Okay. Okay. Sorry, showing my face into the screen again. Okay. How about I just get to the working on the bangs a little bit more before I go to the lower parts. Okay, so let's get that lighter color. Shoot. Basically I also need to blend out the skin area for my right here. It's looking pretty rough, I noticed. But yeah. Okay. Right, sorry. Okay. Kinda. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end the stream sometime soon, so just a fair warning. Around 3. I'll just try to do my IRL responsibilities. You're getting so far? Alright, yeah. Just try to... Thanks, honestly, I feel like I haven't really gotten that far. I only really did the skin and some of the hair, but yeah, hopefully I can do more off stream. But yeah, just kind of getting this done. Sorta. Okay. Need to yoink this one real quick. So I can lighten the bottom area. Okay. Yeah, I just want to work on the skin real quick. I'm not really thrilled about how rough it looks at the moment. Hold on, I'm gonna get a cough drop real quick. Okay. Oh. Forgot to lock the door. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so let's just kind of blend this out. Yeah, just feeling a little down all kind of suddenly today, so. try to feel a little bit better later. Hmm. Alright, so I'm just kind of blending these general areas out. So, actually, I think I might have. I was just thinking about rating, and I think I might have actually done Naomi a little while ago. So, no, I thought it kind of thought it'd been weeks, but maybe not. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I should try to look for someone new or not. So, I was kind of chatting a bit about it earlier, but just kind of, you know, trying to find more streamers. Of course, maybe doing it while raiding is always the best idea, but you know, it's just kind of something you want to do on occasion. So either art streamer or another craft streamer, maybe. Okay. Let's work on the face real quick. That's the main part that needs work. Okay. Yeah. Zoom out. Sorry, it's just staring and trying to quickly observe. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try and work on the ends now, just so I can remember where all the hair is actually. It's kind of just kind of struggling to make it out right at the moment. Okay, so yeah, there's the end right here. So try to get that. Try to reach until the, you know, that darker area. Okay. And try to, yeah, my little shaded areas. So this darker color. Just kind of. Oops. No, it's wrong. Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna probably be a little more complicated just because of the, yeah, feeling the complications, I mean to say. Because technically it should be starting to cool. It's just the tips that should be this bright, but I think I might be going to head a little too high, maybe. Hold on. Just kind of. All right. But maybe I'll try to finish I'll quickly finish the hair right here, and then I'll end the stream. So, depending on how long it takes. Hair tends to take longer than I expect a lot of the time, so. Okay. Just gonna... Okay. Alright. Okay. Oops. Okay. And try to... Okay, get this really dark shadow. I'm just going to use it to over here and actually kind of mark out the edge right here just so I can see it. Okay. Honestly, just gonna be a... And then I'll blend it out with this one. So... Okay. All right. Okay. Just kind of mark this out. This is the wrong one. Oops. Okay. Mark it out. I can just blend it out, maybe. Okay. You know what? I think I'm just gonna end now. I'm just not feeling it right now. But yeah, not a ton of work done today. Kind of expected a bit more, but you know, hopefully I can do more next. Hopefully more gets done by the end of the week. But yeah, so thanks for coming, and I hope the rest of your day goes well. I'm gonna turn the music down a bit. I think I'm just gonna raid Naomi again, so yeah, so okay, fun. Glad you thought it was fun. Yeah. But yeah, so let me just kind of copy and paste their name real quick. Control C. Let's hit that raid. So thank you everyone for coming. I'll try to stream this Sunday and Friday as per usual, and there won't be any Tuesday stream next week, so just a fair warning. But yeah, I'll try to continue this art piece, you know, and if I finish this art after this art piece, I might start doing Blender stuff potentially, or just drawing my characters. But yeah, so thanks again for coming, and I hope your day goes well. And you know, let's raid.
Viridian Ghost. Hello, welcome in, Raiders. How y'all guys doing? Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. If you got a raid and run, I totally understand. But welcome in. If you don't know me, my name's Naomi Lee. I'm an online digital artist. Such a bam, such a boost. I stream Tuesdays through Friday, always at 1:30 p.m. EST. If you're on 6-7 around there, glad to have you in. Ghost House Stream. What were you doing? How were the deeds? I love to hear about it. But also, thank you so much for the raid. Make sure that you hydrate, that you nourish yourself, that you take a piss. Because I don't know when the last time you take a piss was, but estrogen, okay, very important. But welcome in, y'all. I'm just starting on a new commish today. Trying to figure out a nice pose for what I'm trying to do. So, but yeah. Straight was okay. Blocking out a painting. Didn't do as much as I thought. That's right. Thank you for the Swift special. We have days like that. We do. But would you like to share? Would you happen to share what you worked on? A little art text, maybe? If you want. If you want. If you want. Or something you are proud of. I'd love to see, of course. Of course. Yes. But take your sweet time. Take your time. Because Raiders. Oh, yes. Okay. Awesome. I'll check in this video. But Raiders, I got a little something for you. I got a raid trailer. It's a little outdated, but I'm sure you won't mind. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy.